So the time is finally here. The show we've all been waiting for literally years since it was still just a movie has finally been released. The premiere actually dropped as a 2-episode special, so I'll be covering both in this video. Hit that subscribe button down below and let's get started. The episode begins with a full recap of the prequel trilogy all the way from Anakin's earliest days to the moment he was put into the Vader suit. The recap then ends on Master Yoda telling Obi-Wan that Qui-Gon has some teachings still left for him. I'm sure that will definitely play into the series, as not too long ago one of the Star Wars Canon novels confirmed that Qui-Gon learned to manifest himself as a Force ghost and not just a voice in 10 BBY, the exact same year that this show is set. As the episode properly begins, we are thrown right into a serene flashback of a group of Jedi younglings training with their master on Coruscant. Things are going well, but then everything changes. Order 66 is declared by Palpatine and the Clone Troopers of Anakin's 501st Legion storm into the room, trying to kill everyone inside, even the younglings. One of the younglings on the run is a young girl named Reva, who will go on to become the third sister. Just in case you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, the Inquisitors are a group of fallen Jedi who serve under Darth Vader with the goal of hunting down and killing the remaining Jedi in the galaxy. Their ranking system is just their gender plus number, with the highest ranking being the Grand Inquisitor. After all of this, we cut to 10 years later on the streets of Tatooine. Overhead, the shadow of a mammoth Inquisitor ship called the Inquisitor Transport Scythe is coming down for a landing, scaring the citizens of Tatooine. Off the ship walks a group of Darth Vader's Inquisitors, of course first seen in Star Wars Rebels, including the Grand Inquisitor himself, the fifth brother, and the third sister Reva. The Inquisitors patrol the streets of Tatooine, and the Grand Inquisitor even growls a bit, which is a nice nod to his species, the Pau'an. Now after that, the Grand Inquisitor enters a local saloon and intimidates a hiding Jedi inside, Nari, into leaping out to protect an innocent civilian. This leads onto a huge Tatooine-wide chase to find him, but the Grand Inquisitor warns Reva not to pursue bigger fish, including Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next, we cut to see what Obi-Wan is up to in the year 10 BBY, where he's working in a food processing plant out in the desert. It appears they're processing the meat of some huge fish or maybe even a crate dragon, it's pretty hard to tell from that shot, and they're ready to sell to customers across the rich planets of the galaxy. Moving on from this, Obi-Wan sees injustice being done everywhere he looks and he is challenged to fight it, but at this point he cannot. He must remain in hiding to protect the son of his former master. We then move back to the cave where Obi-Wan has set up his new living quarters, and inside we see Obi-Wan buy a T-16 Skyhopper toy which Luke uses in A New Hope. Not long after, Obi-Wan goes to sleep and is greeted by extremely painful flashbacks from many moments of the prequel trilogy with his former apprentice, including the fight on Mustafar, the chase in Attack of the Clones, and importantly, Padme saying that there is still good in Anakin. As he is awoken from this horrible experience, he calls out to his master Qui-Gon Jinn, but he still hears no response. It's clear that he's been trying to commune with him for these whole 10 years in isolation. Right after, Obi-Wan goes to a nearby perch to spy on the Lars homestead and young Luke Skywalker and is happy to see him laughing and having fun inside of a simulator. As a result, he drops off the T-16 toy and starts returning back to his cave. On the return, a reckless young Jedi appears and calls out Obi-Wan's true identity. He very stupidly flashes his lightsaber and then wants Obi-Wan to help him fight back for those in need, but Kenobi just can't do it. The time of the Jedi is over in his eyes. After that, we cut to the beautiful, luscious world of Alderaan, where we think Princess Leia is being dressed for an official ceremony. Hilariously though, she is being a rebel even at this young age, and puts someone else in her place while she goes out to play in the woods. Out there, she is sightseeing the leaving ships, calling out a Tri-Wing, which is a really obscure ship created in 2019 and only seen in Star Wars Fascinating Facts, the ship of an Aquilian Ranger, which is a really old cut, coming from the adventures of Luke Skywalker and the original Ralph McQuarrie concept art. Young Leia finally calls out the Merson pirates who were active during the final days of the Republic, and they used to attack luxury ships near asteroid belts. They even took out a ship of 500 people and took them all as slavers for the Zygerian Empire, the biggest slave owners in the galaxy. When Breha Organa comes out to tell Leia to get back to the palace, she says, "It's like raising a Glorak," which is a species literally only mentioned once in a Star Wars adventure journal published in 1994. Sadly, after being caught, Breha tells Leia to turn off her droid Lola, which is a new model we haven't yet seen. We then cut back to Tatooine, where Uncle Owen dumps the T-16 Skyhopper toy back to Obi-Wan in disgust, warning him to stay away from Luke because he already failed one Skywalker. This is interrupted though by Reva confronting and cornering Owen, threatening to kill him if the Jedi among them is not given up. Moving on from this, Breha Organa greets her sister and family. This could actually be Diarra Antilles, who was Breha's sister in Star Wars Legends, but she was blackmailed and worked as a spy against her for Darth Vader. At the party, you can actually even see C-3PO making a small little appearance. Back at the party, Leia is insulted by her cousin for not being a real Organa, and when her mother tells her to apologize, she says she'd rather be ingested by a Jacko beast. These were huge Arctic animals found in the tundras of ice planets in the Outer Rim. They were pretty gentle beasts, but a lot of them were actually force sensitive and used the force in many ways to help them survive. They would topple over trees with force pushes and knock predators off balance using the same. When the beasts came together, they had enough force power to knock over an entire forest. It's always nice to see those unique uses for the force and how it interacts with nature. Straight after, Bail talks to Leia and mentions that he wanted to chase Purrgil when he was younger. These are the same space whale creatures which have a natural hyperspace ability and took Ezra and Thrawn into the unknown regions at the end of Star Wars Rebels. While he's giving this talk to Leia, he leans down in the same way that Leia does when sending the message to Kenobi in A New Hope, coming full circle. This also happens in Star Wars Rebels too, so very nice connective tissue. After this, Leia returns to her ship spotting tree but is immediately captured by a group of smugglers. This worries Bail and Breya so deeply that they are forced to call Obi-Wan Kenobi out of exile. But he's not the man he used to be and declines to help them. This leads Bail to do the extraordinary and come to Obi-Wan's cave. He mentions that Obi-Wan failed Anakin before, but he won't do that again with rescuing Leia. After this, Obi-Wan agrees and is forced to dig up his old lightsabers and Jedi robes which he buried there many years earlier. For a short time, he will not be Ben Kenobi anymore, but back to Obi-Wan Kenobi. And that's where part 1 ends. Episode 2 begins with Kenobi jetting off to the planet Daiyu. As soon as he gets there, he again asks for Qui-Gon's guidance, but sadly he doesn't appear. As Obi-Wan is trawling the streets, he comes across a veteran clone trooper of the Clone Wars begging for money. Really sad to see what the Empire has done to the clone troopers after replacing them with Project Warmantle from Star Wars The Bad Batch and Rogue One. Seeing this clone veteran causes Obi-Wan both fear and PTSD, worried about Order 66. Obi-Wan is also offered an assortment of spices like glitterstim, which is a huge drug from Star Wars Legends. It gave its users a brief but pleasurable telepathic boost and heightened their mental state. After this, Obi-Wan brutally confronts a fake Jedi named Naja using magnets and wires. He is pretty much scamming people for protection. Naja gives Kenobi the location to a spice den where various aliens are cooking crystal spice. Unfortunately, he gets captured and cornered, but he actually pulls out the old Walter White move, smashing a jar of spice to escape, just like Heisenberg smashed the fulminated mercury. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you know exactly what I'm talking about. After this, Leia and Kenobi are forced to get disguises to slip off-world, and Obi-Wan mentions that their cover story is that they are farmers from the planet Tall. This is actually a brand new planet. I don't even know why I added this in, but Tall is a brand new planet. As Leia runs away from Kenobi after seeing his wanted holo, we get a look at some aquatic life tanks, and inside is actually a young Dianoga, the same species from the trash compactor in A New Hope. Pretty cool little connection there. And we also see a Dianoga in The Bad Batch. Soon after, Leia falls off a building while running and Kenobi is forced to use the Force to save her, just like Cal Kestis did for Prauf in Jedi Fallen Order. Just like the Grand Inquisitor says, it's in their nature. Although Cal Kestis' move did catch the attention of the Empire. After this, the rogue criminal Naja returns to Kenobi and wants to make amends for his past actions, so he sends him to an automated cargo port which will take him to the planet Mapuzzo. This planet is from deep in Star Wars Legends where a huge criminal operation called the Mapuzzo Break-In took place. It featured in the Alliance Intelligence Reports book, but not much else is known about that. Next up, Reva catches Naja and uses a mind probe to get Kenobi's location from him. This is the same technique used by Kylo Ren on Rey in The Force Awakens. Right after that, Kenobi tells Leia that she reminds him of someone he once knew, a fearless leader who was stubborn and brave. Obviously, he's talking about Padme, Leia's true mother. Following this, Kenobi is sent into full shock. He finds out that Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, his old apprentice, is in fact still alive. Obi-Wan can barely breathe realizing this fact, and then we cut straight to the man himself, Darth Vader inside of a Bacta tank. For some reason, they also fake the death of the Grand Inquisitor by having Reva kill him, even though we all know he survives in Star Wars Rebels. Unless they're just going to retcon Star Wars Rebels, which I highly doubt because Dave Filoni's involved in it. He created it, and the Ahsoka show is also a direct continuation, so I don't think you have to worry about that. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. And that's where the episode comes to an end. What do you think we'll see next week, and which characters will appear? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Really hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you in the next one. Hit that subscribe button if you made it this far.